Hey guys, thanks for joining me with Ecstasy Crafts. We're super excited to share some of these tag making techniques with you. We've got a bunch of different samples that we'll share, a few different cards that we use the tags as an element on, as well as some winter themed tags that are perfect to throw on a little gift or wrap around a bottle of wine. I don't know what you're giving this season. There's a little bell. So we're sharing a couple different techniques, some embossing, some coloring, some 3D dimension. So stick around and we will share all of that with you. If you want a little bit more detail, you can find all the step-by-step instructions and the products that we use on our blog at ecstasycrafts.com, as well as any of the products you might want to grab up if you're feeling so inspired. So enjoy!
So let's get started with our first card. We have the sample card here done up with a little Bon Voyage sentiment with a little map in the background, all from that paper pad that came in the Marianne pad. But let's do a little classroom themed one together with the same kind of ideas. So you have your sentiments, your cardstock. The sentiments came from the tags that came with the tag bundle. And then, of course, we got those little sheets, the letters and the chalkboard, out of that School Time paper pad by Marianne. So we're going to start with our card base, and then we've cut our cardstock just a 1/4 inch smaller than the card base, and we're going to apply it with some double-sided foam tape. And I love the letters as the background. It's very school, classroom vibes. So then to add an area of focus, we're going to rip our chalkboard paper to give it a little textured edge there. And you can see I'm ripping away from myself so that the ripped edge is fully colored. You can see on this piece. That's what we've done in the map card to get the unfinished edge, but I want the finished edge for this one to keep it all looking in sync. There's not much of any white on that card, so I don't really want the white line showing. It can be nice in some situations, but for this one, we're going to keep a nice colored edge on it. So we're going to trim this up to fit on top of our lettered cardstock, and then we will attach it with some more double-sided foam tape. And I really love using this double-sided foam, guys. It's just a quick, easy way to pop that layer up, and it's nice and secure on there. Add a little depth to our cards. So we've got that on there. Next up, we will stamp using our Marianne tag stamp, also from the tag bundle, and we will use some black ink. So we've got our stamp lined up on our Stamping Buddy Pro, and it's easy to just slap on there, make sure everything's lined up. And then we are going to trim this tag, which is super simple, just a pair of nice scissors, and you can trim it up. I stamped right on the edge there, you can see, so I don't have to trim that side. And then just get as close as you can to the line so that there's an even border around it. And just trim that extra cardstock away, no big deal. And it creates a nice little custom cut tag. So then we are going to get our die for tag holes. So I'll show you that here. We've got that from Nellie, and it's super handy. It comes with a couple different die holes so that you can punch the hole into your tag. So we've done that, and then we're just going to attach our sentiment with a little bit of double-sided tape. And I went with the "You Passed" and "Congratulations" from that little sentiment set, which also comes with its own little tags. I really liked it, and it has the little gold and silver sentiment, so it's a great variety. So there's our little tag done up, and I'm going to apply that with some double-sided foam again, just to pop that up, and you can see me using that here. Again, super simple. I love it. It's a quick way to put a gorgeous card together. So we'll slap that on there. And then, well, first, why don't we add our little string to our tag? Let's get a string. So this is some cording that came in the tag bundle from our Black Friday sale. So I just chose one that correlated with the cardstock. And then we're just going to slip that into our tag. And I found using my little pricker tool helped me get it through that little hole. So we've got that through, just tie it in a quick knot. And make sure you have enough length so that you can get it knotted. It's always easy to trim it afterwards, so make sure you're giving yourself the room to just comfortably tie that little knot there. Make it look nice and cute, because, you know, that's what we're here for, making everything look nice and finished. So I'm just going to trim it up, and then I fluff up the edges a little bit just to finish it off. So we can apply our sentiment, and you can put it at whatever angle you wanted. I put it on an angle at first, and I actually decided to mix it up. I didn't like the way it looked, and actually ended up putting it level and square to the cardstock. But do whatever you feel like, whatever you want to do. So I felt like it was missing a little something, and I decided to grab a little cut sheet from that same paper pad and just cut out a little bit of a focal point there, just to add a little interest to the bottom of the card. And I just attached that with our little foam pads, stuck it on there, and I think that adds a nice little something to it. So there you have it. We've got those 2 sample cards using the same materials from the paper pad and different elements from the tag bundle. Next up, we're going to make some tags. So we have so many cute ones here in our samples, some little snowflakes that have been embossed, a little gingerbread man popped up for some depth. So let's get started. We're going to use our Marianne tag die that comes in our tag bundle. And we've just used that to cut a couple tags there with the little reinforcement circles. And let's start with our first one. So I've got my blending brush from Nellie, and I'm going to just grab some ink there. I'm using some Distress Oxide ink, but you can use whatever you want to just blend on there. We're just going to add a little bit of color, get that going, and see however dark you want it. I like doing it after I've cut the tag, so it actually makes it a little darker around the edges, just to kind of make those pop, and then I get lighter to the center. But you can add on as much as you like. It's your tag. You do what you want. So I've done another one here. We're just going to do some blues, purpley blues on there, a little sky color, and again, you can use any kind of blending ink you want, or leave it plain. Whatever colors tickle your fancy. So it just creates a nice base layer for the other elements on our tag. So you just blend it on. I like to start from the side of the paper and just kind of carry the color on. So it's always nice to have that scrap piece of paper or a craft mat underneath, just so you don't make too much of a mess. So we're going to get that all blended in there, and then we will move forward with our little stamps. So I'm going to grab my Stamp Buddy Pro and stick my first tag on there using the little magnets and the grids to get it lined up and nice and straight. I'm going to put a little bell on from my Creative Expressions mini stitched embellishments, and I just love this set of stamps in this bundle. It's perfect for making little tags. So I will use my Versamark, apply that watermark on there, and that's just going to provide something for our embossing powder to stick to. So I usually like to do it twice. That's why I love using the Stamping Buddy, to just make sure you have it exactly lined up for your second stamp, so you have a nice good layer down for your embossing powder to stick to. So we'll pull that off of our Stamping Buddy, and we will stick it onto our scrap piece of paper again, just so we don't make too much of a mess with that embossing powder. And I'm taking a Brilliant Sparkle White Gold by Cosmic Shimmer for this, and just dusting it over top of where we stamped our little gold bell, well, soon to be gold bell, and then let it sit for just a second. It doesn't need too long to soak in or anything. And just dust off. Careful not to touch where you're actually embossing. And if you need to, you can brush off any excess that's kind of stuck to the paper. I used my fingers, but you can use a little dry paintbrush or whatever works for you. So I'm going to grab my heat tool and apply heat to our embossing powder just to set it, and you can see that gold shine really coming into effect as it heats up and the embossing powder kind of melts onto our stamp. And I just love the way this came out looking. Just a classic little gold bell for our tag. So we're going to cut our ribbon. Again, make sure to leave yourself enough room to be able to tie that knot. And we like to trim it and tie it in a nice little knot. But let's not forget our little reinforcement pad. So we'll glue that on there using our craft glue so we can wiggle it around a little bit and make sure it's perfectly lined up. And then I'm just taking a gel pen and drawing around the edges to just outline and make that pop a little bit. And I mean, you could also use a Versa marker, a little watermark pen, and there's no reason why you couldn't also emboss that. So if you use a watermark pen, you would just draw your watermark where I'm drawing the gel pen, and then apply your embossing powder at the same time as you do your bell, and that would be very nice too. So we've got our outline all set there. We're going to string our ribbon through, tie our knot, again making it nice and cute as we can, and trim that up if you need. And that should be just about it. Again, you can string that over a bottle of wine or attach it to a little box of cookies or a gift. How cute. Perfect. So let's do one more sample here together using a different technique. We were taking the tag that we've already colored with our blending brush and some Distress Oxide ink. Peel that stamp off, and I'm going to do our little snowman for this one. So with our tag secured down there with the magnets, we'll line up our stamp from that same little mini stitched embellishments. And we will pick them up with our stamping platform. And we're just going to throw some black ink on there. I'm using this Stays On pigment, which I love, especially for using with our markers. So we've got our black ink on there, and we're going to just stamp him down just like that. And then we will carry on from there. So I'm going to rearrange my magnets and just make some room. I think I want to add a couple little stars up at the top just to add some interest up there. Add a little extra something. So we'll get them lined up, and we can apply whatever ink we want. We could do something a little shimmery. You could emboss those in a nice silver or whatever you feel like doing. But I'm going to pick them up and apply some Distress Oxide ink for just a little subtle star pattern on the top of my tag. So I get it applied there nice and evenly, and I will stamp it down, and I actually ended up adding a couple more. So then we're just going to color in our little snowman with our Prism alcohol markers, which I absolutely love. I love the color selection in there. They truly do have a shade for anything you need, as well as the dual tips, so you can cover large surfaces or really get in there with the fine detail like we are on this little snowman stamp. So I'm going to do the purple scarf in there to match the stars, and I'm just adding an extra layer just to create a little bit of a shadow on the bottom of the purple scarf, just by adding a little extra layer with my marker. And there we have it. Our snowman's all set. We're just going to attach the reinforcement circle and our ribbon, and there you go. A quick and easy little holiday tag for you. to stick onto a gift or slip into a little pocket on a card or whatever you like.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you had fun following along with some of our tag making techniques. Again, if you need more detailed instructions or a list of the products used, you can head to our blog at ecstasycrafts.com, and you can find all of the products that we used to make some of these tags over at ecstasycrafts.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us along on social media at Ecstasy Crafts. Thanks, guys. Bye.